Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to a quick series. Well, sorry, this is going to be an extremely quick ace in the Focke-Wulf. More replay bug with the engine sound brought to you by Gaijin. As the, what's it called? April Fool's Day event approacheth, I get extra excited because, as I've mentioned before, my precious daughter Brooklyn, the tank toddler, is turning 3, and she's been talking about birthday and cake since her last birthday. So she's already really excited about that, and you may have noticed that any chance I get to enjoy my girls and brag about them, I go ahead and take that, because they're pretty great people, if I say so myself. And treasuring them has been so enjoyable for me. And now it's time to appreciate the Focke-Wulf. This is a fighter that, to a less experienced, you can see MetaDave spending a lot of time climbing there, getting back up to altitude and recovering his energy. But to a less experienced player, the Focke-Wulf, especially the early models, can be very challenging because you cannot turn fight in this aircraft. However, with its very reliable firepower, its good energy retention, its great boom and zoom / energy fighter characteristics, and lacking, again, that emergency ability to turn and maneuver the way that a BF-109 can, it makes up for it in some really interesting and compelling ways. And when you really get a feel for the Focke-Wulf, it truly becomes a butcher bird. It really is an aircraft for people that want to learn to not miss their opportunities. For a brief moment, you get your window, and the guns do not disappoint. So, you spray, and they go down. 5 incredibly quick kills. MetaDave not missing his opportunity, taking down... Ooh, excuse me. I got an itch in my ear that gave me like chills throughout my whole body. Sorry about that. It's a little bit embarrassing. Anyway, MetaDave making full use of the opportunities provided. An extremely brief look at a match that did take a little bit of time to accomplish. MetaDave especially pulling off, nailing his shots, and then recovering enough energy to be useful later in the match. And just now, baby Zoey needs my help because she's stuck on a screen in YouTube Kids. So just a moment. There you go. Okay. The the little one is growing up so fast. She's already asking for the tablet and watching YouTube Kids, and I pay attention to what she's watching, and at the same time she just loves seeing faces on screen. And now, far less than seeing the face of your enemy, seeing the side of your enemy is so enjoyable in the game of War Thunder, and this map is definitely one where you have that opportunity time and time again. Really, I'd say a perfect map for low to mid-tier vehicles. Once you start getting into 6, 7, and higher, the lack of distance and flanking opportunities can be a little bit of a setback, but pulling off that quick flanking maneuver, you can see that Qwerty's is not all the way on the other side of the map here in his FL-10. He's just to where he can get side shots on the enemy, and he's very aggressively taking them down one after another, the way that I would say only the FL-10 can do. But there are several vehicles now as that round flies into the void, having already taken down the turret crew of that Chi-What's-It, and the FL-10 actually bouncing a shot, showing that every now and then, if you're very lucky and the snail is pleased to condone such a thing, you can actually bounce a shot with the cast Cole Sherman, where the extreme angling of certain portions of the armor can come through for you where armor thickness alone does not. Wouldn't count on it against the Russian 85, and I didn't know there was a rave going on in the ammo reload section, but there's another replay bug for you, so chalk that one down. How did that... Was that a shot from an ally, or did an enemy actually bounce off the turret of the FL-10? I gotta believe that was QWERTY's ally slapping him with a round. Friendly fire in Tank RB, always delightful. I do remember the day where friendly fire was a thing. As we stare into a bush, Toshio, what are your editing skills? It's like, hey man, that's what he was looking at, you know, as far as I can tell. Replays are an interesting beast. And on a completely different topic, now that QWERTY has already picked up a quick 4 kills in a nice flanking maneuver and set himself up in a reliable ambush position, eyes on a pizza wagon. But you were talking about my beautiful custom camouflage I have for this vehicle, One Punch Man. I really like the theme. It does look a little bit better without the cancer bushes on it, just so you know. Speaking of cancer, a little bit more tank rendering issues, just because we can, saith the snail. I actually understand that optimizing War Thunder can be very difficult. What doesn't seem so challenging, those quick 3 kills that QWERTY has pulled off thanks to the beautiful autoloader on the FL-10 and some nicely placed ammo rack shots. A respawn in the 155 artillery piece, and a death that comes in pieces in quick succession. Not getting one shot himself, but instead tortured to death by the Gestapo. You hate to see it, but La Resistance lives on as QWERTY gets the kill with what appears to be the default belt. Nope, that might be the AP. Yes, he's rocking 1 for 4 in high explosive, the one that happened to take down that enemy. What was that? Anyway, he gone now. I saw the profile, I recognized the plane, and then I got a little bit distracted. I am very distracted this morning, just so you know. I have been exhausted these past few days. Those of you that are on the Discord may have noticed my obsession with Divinity Original Sin 2. It is a fantastic, I am talking possibly the best turn-based RPG that I've ever played. And it's really not fair to even put it in the same category as games like Pathfinder Kingmaker. Fantastic game in terms of the gameplay, falls short in my opinion in terms of the story and especially character development. Divinity Original Sin excels in those areas. If I could compare it to anything, I would say it feels today, playing Divinity Original Sin 2, like it felt for me to play Baldur's Gate 2 back in the day, maybe even Baldur's Gate 1, with that sense of awe and wonder and a finely crafted world. You can tell that the game developers spent a lot of time playing their game, getting a feel for what would work, where and how, and just polishing the ever-loving bejesus out of it. I also get a sense, and this is something new in terms of RPGs, that's rarely seen these days, except I hear such a thing is present in games like The Witcher as well. But there feels like there's an immense depth of possibilities in the game that I have yet to really explore, because I'm playing an undead summoner character who just goes around murder hoboing anyone. So there's a certain faction that doesn't agree with the player's existence as a sorcerer in the game, and I pretty much just kill them whenever the opportunity arises, which leads me to believe there's a vast wealth of dialogue that I might be missing out on, but the murder hobo is going to do the murder hobo things. I'll dig more into the story later. And the story of Qwerty's conquest here of land and sky in this familiar map that I'm just casually walking around, the fact that I can't remember the name of Eastern Europe, European province, something like that. Qwerty's is kicking butt and taking names and giving me an opportunity to talk about games that aren't necessarily War Thunder. Speaking of, the servers have been having some issues, along with a lot of other internet services, as everyone is in the lockdown for the continued coronavirus outbreak, or corona season, as it were. It's corona time here around the world. And, I really hope, to switch to a more serious topic, I really hope that, I'd like to say I hope everybody gets through this okay, and I hope you all do. The sad thing is that from a purely numbers scale, a lot of people are suffering and dying and going to suffer and die because of this epidemic. It's one of those things that's like a force of nature. It's like an earthquake heard around the world, if you know what I mean. It touches everyone because it's so communicable. And at the same time, I really hope that people, and especially you all, can get the best out of this situation where everyone is encouraged to stay home, to stay close, to not mingle closely with people until this whole thing blows over. And at the same time, so many people are going through just a really, really bad form of a virus. I hope that families can get the most out of this time where they're in close with their near family. I hope that this really highlights how precious our elderly folks are, the grandpas and grandmas. I was just talking with my grandma and grandpa just last night, and then I called my mom too. They're all on the ranch, and they live next door to each other essentially, but on the ranch next door is 2 football fields away. But they talk over the phone. They're quarantined to themselves, and everyone's doing well. And for me, I've been wanting to visit my grandma for so long, and especially bring the girls to go see them, but we've had a sick person in this house literally all winter, and then ironically corona starts going around and we're all doing okay, but now everybody's on lockdown. So also, my wife is pregnant. We're gonna have a baby boy in early June, and so we're being, really careful. And I just really, really treasure my grandma and grandpa and my mom And the fact that we can't go and see them, the fact that I can't go and bring the girls to them, it just makes me want to connect with them even more. And along those lines, as Tiny German comes into play in the M4A376 wet rack with a fantastic user camouflage that's available in the marketplace, I might have to pick that up. But I hope that all of you are taking this opportunity to reach out to people online. And I always plug the Discord in these videos because it honestly is my social network. I think the Discord is a lot better than Facebook for connecting with people because you don't have that soulless lizard man, Mike Blumzano, or whatever his name is. The Facebook guy with the weird eyes, you know, that doesn't look human. It looks like he licks his eyelids to keep them moisturized and, you know, eats babies or whatever. And then he seems like a guy who doesn't understand humans. And he's in charge of the biggest social network in the world. So what I'm saying is, I really want to encourage you guys to just make casual social connections, talk with people, share your experiences, and I always want the Toshio Thunder Discord to be a place where people can do that. There's no monetization for anything we do. There's no ulterior motives. You know, I'm not trying to get anything out of you guys. I just want to share my life with you when I can, and I'm a busy guy. You know, you can hear the babies in the background in most of my videos. Baby's always being pretty chill, watching YouTube Kids on Big Sis's tablet. We gotta get her a tablet of her own, but she's 2 years old, and she's not even 2 yet. She's so grown up. She's such a cutie. But anyway, that's sort of a disjointed way to say there's a link to the Discord in the description of this video, and a quick 3 kills already from Tiny German using the M4 Sherman the way you should, set up in a fantastic hold down position with hard cover on one side and difficult terrain on the other. Now, he is in a position where he could be flanked fairly effectively by the enemy team, but you can see from the map that his exposed side is covered by allies, as well as the fact that there's like 8 people in this central cap zone just locking it down and playing the objective and being absolute badasses. I am so proud of this community. It's not entirely uncommon to see the whole team collaborating like this, covering the heights and slamming that objective the way you do to lock down a match from the start as you watch the enemy spawn points, the enemy tickets bleeding out consistently. Here, Tiny German doing his part and getting fantastic support from his team. But that's not always what happens, to the extent that with the limited communication and no force really forcing cooperation among team members, it's all the more encouraging to see that happen. As Long Boy Jumbo backs up Chumbawamba here, where he's taken some damage and he needs support from his team, and he immediately has that support. Even so, ally after ally falling to the concerted and increasingly desperate enemy assault as Tiny German and his diminishing squadron of allies hold down A at all costs. This has been a match of tenacity, of dog-mindedness that you rarely see in the game of War Thunder. The enemy team, no doubt, screeching in Teutonic disappointment as Tiny German takes down a foe every now and then, but by no means pulling the brunt of the work all by himself. Again, well supported by his teammates, even in their diminishing numbers, as the enemy assault continues to break against them again and again. In a brutal war of attrition, the team that plays the objective hardest, that gets on point and locks it down with the most tenacity, is the team that generally wins individual heroics, giving place to concerted team effort, as once again fresh reinforcements come into the capture zone to back up our Tiny German and secure victory for the American team. This is a beautiful example of concerted team effort in the game of War Thunder, and it stirs my heart to see such occurring. The enemy team, by no means under-equipped or unmotivated to win this match, has been pushing against their position very diligently and effectively, but the American team here has just been holding it together, holding it down, and securing the zone. Tiny German definitely doing his part, having picked up 6 kills and an assist at this point. And now that the dust begins to settle on the German Empire, the Americans pushing through to claim victory where Soviet blood has paved the way you do. In any event, it was really encouraging to see the teamwork in this match, the action going on in the mini-map, and just the great support that the American team has been using against, the Soviets are facing them as well. It's that kind of battle, as Tiny German picks up a 7th kill and boldly pushes forward to finish off the T-34 57, which is not a bad decision at all, picking up a KV-2 in the process with the incredibly fast reload on the Sherman 76, coupled with its stabilizer and good depression, another thing that makes that tank just delightful. Speaking of delightful, I hope you've enjoyed this video today, featuring some of the people that have been sending in replays very consistently for this game, and that I've also enjoyed seeing connecting on the Discord. Again, link in the description below. We're all going a little bit crazy during the quarantine, I'm sure, or maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but go ahead, join up, take the Discord link, drop a comment, send in a replay, why don't you? And I really hope that we can all make the best out of the situation we're in, with some good concerted teamwork and focusing on the objective: survive. Anyway, catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.